Hey guys, Susanny here. Well, I am back for the last video of the Journal of Stitchery, and it is something sentimental, which I personally think that the whole thing is sentimental. But as you could see, I've just all I had left was this tiny little space here, and I've got out in some bits and pieces, which I've sort of unpicked this. I just had this tiny space. So my sentimental piece is this, which I got from Corinne, and I was also just a lot of, like, you know, the brooch. This lace piece here I got from Jeanette from My Cottage Crafts. Joy sent me some lovely bits and pieces which I used in there, so it's all pretty sentimental. Even some of these buttons, that's from a friend. So what I'm going to do is I've sort of nutted out where I'm going to put stuff. It's sort of funny little shape thing, but I got this. I've already cut off the piece. My niece recently got married, and she made all these little bits and pieces like this for her wedding bouquet. Little bits and pieces, put beading and made silk ribbons and all that kind of stuff. And this come out of her bouquet. It was on the grass and everything like this, and I showed it to her, and I'm like, finders keepers, I'm going to keep it. She said, yeah, you keep it. So I'm keeping this as a memento from her wedding. We sort of grew up like sisters, so we're quite close. Even though I'm her auntie, I'm only 9 years older than her. We both had kids at the same time. Yeah, so I thought, oh, that I might put that there. That's going to go on top of this. That'll go in there. It looks nice against the white. So I'll probably just sew that onto there, and then sew that around. So what I'm going to do is try and stitch this down. I've left my glue stick in the other room, so I'm just going to have to pin. I thought I'd get a colour in the pink. I think that might even be from some of the English fabric I got from Deborah. So the whole piece is a big sentimental piece, really. So I'm going to pin it down. But I'll tuck it under there. The reason why I got this pinky colour, because I thought it matched nicely with this. Hopefully you're in camera. I can zoom it in a tad. There we go. So I will proceed, and then this I was going to toss up between this piece. I got these. This was from a bag that I bought in France, and I cut out the beautiful little pieces for in my French packs kit, and I, you know, of course, kept some for myself, and I liked it because it had the this sort of stuff, and I'm like, I like that because it's what's it called, the lily of the valley, but I think this works better. So because it sort of brings out the purple, and I just think it just works a little better. So I unpicked some of this, just gonna stick that down, tuck it underneath. So yeah, ultimately you got to put down what works. So I'll pin that down there, and pin this down here. I can hear cars. It gets quite noisy. I don't realise until I watch it back at how noisy it gets in here. And this, I think, was actually tucked under here a little bit. So I might sew this down first, to be honest. I might get a red or white, yep, and just pin it down. So that's the last of my space that I am using. I think that one's probably too big. I might just use a thinner. Yeah, that'll work. So I might just do a stitch, you know, just a, what are they called? The hidden stitch, just to hold it down. So I better pin it. Put that down later. There we go. Going to be a little bit tricky because it's right in the middle. I can see why this is the last piece because sewing in the middle can be a little tricky sometimes. I'll put that here and maybe even hold that down there. So I'm going to do maybe even something here. If you hear any little noise in here, I think my cat wandering around. She was underneath my legs a second ago. So she's such a good little girl. My gorgeous little girl. It's amazing how you can get so quickly attached to your this little, like, she definitely picked me. Yeah, she's just so cute. Such a beautiful natured cat. Oops, sorry guys, I hope I didn't move it too much. Okay, move all the crap. Okay, so we'll do the invisible stitching. So I'll start it from here. Oh, it's going to be tricky. I might leave my hand underneath there and pull it out. I might even stitch that down a little more, I think. I'm going to have to stitch a little weird. Ugh, yeah, make sure it's pulled through because I don't want it to, the needle to come out. Ugh. So, how have you all gone with your piece, hey? It's we've finally come to an end of this lovely piece of stitchery, and I'm sorry that this is late, but I have had quite the week. It was at my last weekend was we went away for our 35th wedding anniversary, and so you know, I just brought along my Fleur Woods piece that I was stitching for that, and then had like 2 days home where I caught up with a little bit, and then my friend who I've sort of put off a couple of times wanted me to stay with her, and so I trottled after only 2 days of being home. Needless to say, my cat missed me, and my husband, of course, but you know, I'd already spent a whole weekend with him. So yeah, so I was off at my friend's place, so I bought the Fleurwood thing again and yeah, haven't had a great deal of time to do anything, and I was supposed to do it Friday, but then Fridays is when my friend comes over, and then our church had a Christmas musical which I went to Friday night, so I just haven't had time to do a video. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it on Saturday morning. So I filmed this Saturday morning, and then once this is finished, I'm gonna put it straight up because I figured it's not a great deal that I've got left to do. Gee, this is awkward. I wonder if I can do it. I'll try doing it this way here and holding it like that. Yeah, that might be a bit better. There we go, pink. Yeah. Oh, that's better. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so I've just been busy. I know I can use it as an excuse, but I have. So as you know, may have noticed, I didn't even get a Thursday video out, which I was going to. That was going to be then, you know, the Christmas angels. So I may even tag the Christmas angels, like do a little bit more of that on this video. So I'll turn it around. Yeah, so I'll just quickly stitch this down and chat to you. Hopefully it'll be enough. Yeah, not very much space left, and I did utilize it. So yeah, the whole piece is pretty sentimental, really. I've got a lot of treasured pieces from my trip. You know, stuff from friends, used really lovely treasured pieces. So even this, you know, this is a bit of trim that I got in England. That was when I did the trims. Might go around that, hold that down. So hopefully this will be sitting a little better. Might have to come back in a little bit later, and I'll be putting, might do a bit of a running stitch, to be honest. Sorry, bringing it towards me. I know, hang a minute, I'll be there in a sec. Ugh. Yeah, the last bits of this is a little bit tricky. Oh, I've got stuff everywhere. I've got to clean up because my son's coming home for Christmas, so, and he stays on the bed that's in here, but I've got stuff all over it. Okay, work on that. Yeah, so glad I'm finally finishing this piece. Hopefully it's in an angle that you guys can see it. Yeah, so it's been a quite the journey with this little piece, like 6 months worth of work. It's lots of stitching. It's like my down the garden path. I would like to hang this in here, but I've got quite a few heavy pieces on there, so I'm going to have a tab or something down the back, because I want it to hang properly. And it's mainly like the heavy pieces are the brooch and well, this piece that I'm going to be putting on today, that's sort of a little bit heavier. Where are we? Here we are. So I think, yeah, see, I've cutting all that. That's real good English, isn't it? I've cut some of the fabric off there, so I'm going to have to make sure that I stitch it down. So I think I'm going back to where I was. Yeah, I think I might have stuff on there where I originally held that down. Okay. I think I need to get some more thread. Put that down and back up. What I might do here is do a bit of a running stitch just to make sure that this is being held down. Okay. There we go. Which is going to be hidden by the pink, I'm hoping. There we go. Not too exciting for you to watch. It's like watching paint dry, isn't it? Okay, but that's how it goes. I'll put this, and I might just do a quick running stitch on there as well, because the other piece is going to cover that, so it should be good. Okay, now finish that off. Okay, now we need to stick, oh, there's thread everywhere. We need to stick that down. And I'm just wondering whether I unstitch this, because it seems to have gathered really weird. And I have to. There we go. So I've got this piece, which I'm sticking over there, so we'll pin that down. And I'm going to have to stitch that down too. Okay. Okay. What I might do is turn off the camera, stitch around that because that's none too exciting, and then I'll come back when it's time to put that on, which I'll stitch around here, and then I've got to stitch that down too, so I'll get out some white stitch and more of this and come back in with that. And I've got to stitch this down too. It's so pretty. Okay, well, I will be back. Okay, well, I'm back again. So I've stitched that down around there, and I've even stitched, when I stitched that down, I stitched these down. So I might come back in and do a couple of, you know, grab some stuff in the middle. What I want to do is I want to put that there, so you can still see a bit of everything. It's going to go across that a little bit, but before it, I also found this. I've got to put that on as well. So what I'll do first is I'm going to put that there. So I may have to put it through there, I'm thinking. I think that'll work. So I'm going to, is that the right way or the wrong way? That's the right way. So what I'm going to do is grab this, stitch that to that first, and then come back and stitch the doily on. Oops, sorry. Might sit down. Okay. Come and push it down. It isn't going to be easy. Stitch it around. Hold it down. Yep, see, it's already slipping down. I've got to pull these a little tighter. These stitches. Go back. Okay, tighter. Tighter. There we go. Pull that tighter. We don't want it falling out. Yeah. Did have a bit on the bottom, but I had to cut that off because that long bit was what it stuck into the bouquet. I was wondering what I was going to do with this piece, and then when I sort of stuck it near here, I'm like, oh, I think that'll work. Yep. How's it looking on that side? Oh yeah, getting there. I might grab some of the stuff from the top as well. Wire. Got a big long piece because I'm going to stitch around the outside. So we'll stick that down and oh, good grief. It's a bit, reminds me a little bit of the stump work, where you have to hide the stuff behind the edges. Okay, now I'm just going to the edge. It's got a bit of wire on it, so I should be able to, you know, move it, that back part where it's down, and then I'm going to, needs to be pushed down a little more. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to grab that, I think. So there we go. Still want to see a little bit of everything. Probably not as down as I would like it, but that's all right. That's how it goes sometimes, eh? Pin and pin. Okay, so grab this, start stitching around. Because it's white on white, hopefully you don't see the stitches. Might grab that piece and go in. At least it's holding that down. Oh, got a knot in the bottom. Of course it has. You be really careful. That's the trouble when you have a long piece. So I'm going to go around, and then I'm going to come back and stitch that actual piece down. Okay, so I might pause it and I'll be back, and then I'll find a place for this button. Okay, I am back. So we'll zoom it in. Oop. It's stitched down. Hopefully won't be moving. Isn't that pretty? Got a real nice little bit of blingage. Now, what I need to do is sew that on. So I might go back out again. And initially, that was there. And there's still a little bit of a gap there because that was there. So I probably could put it back there because I think it'll work. So I just got a bit of that white. And then we're going to go... yeah, I'll put it back there. It's going to go over. Ugh, such a big button. I'll just go like that. And then go over and go like that. Just so it's being held. There we go. Is that too high? It probably is. Make sure that when I go back through it again, I go and bring it down a tad. There we go. Go over that again. I think I had it with wool before. So since I had white in there, which matches that, I'll put the white, and then I'm going to go back in here. Oop. Go back through again. Oh yeah, I just managed to see this on my bench. I'm like, oh, I need to put that back. I forgot to put it back after I took it off when I did this part. Okay, I think that'll do. And then tie it off. It's doubled up to make it a little bit stronger, but then yeah, I'll cut that off there, and then I'll knot it. And then we are pretty much done. The only thing I do have left, and I was umming and ahhing whether I do it, because it's going to be a lot of work, is doing that seed stitch in my, where we had a vintage doily. And I think it would help blend it in, like with Corinne's piece, but not the end of the world if it doesn't happen. Okay. Also, from last time too, I found this little thing, you know, it was like that where you iron it on, and I thought, oh yeah, that sort of sits in there. Okay, it may sort of go over a little bit, but it's at least covering that little patch. And I'm thinking, when else am I going to have such a big button? But yeah, I like that. And then I do need to come in with a little thread. Oop, where is it? And where's that needle? That's why you don't put needles down in places where you're never going to find it again. Oh, seriously. Oh, there it is. Accidentally touched it. Because that's sitting up a little bit and it's going to annoy me. So we're going to just do a couple of invisible stitches just to hold that down, and we are done. Now this is what I was talking about. I've got Corinne's piece here. It's got all that seed stitch, and I was going to do that here, and I don't know, I I mean, it has been held down. It's been held down here, been held down with that. I could probably do some invisible stitch because it, like the other ones, yeah, it's like quite gapey. Yeah, we'll see how I go. It probably does need something like on the edge. Okay, so threads everywhere. Just quickly stitch this down with a very quick invisible stitch, enough to hold it down so it's not going everywhere. Isn't it funny how this is a bit gapey and is sitting funny, whereas that whole big doily is managing to be sitting okay. Probably because this was rather difficult to get through and there's a few layers. So once this is done, we are done. Really do like invisible stitch, it's great. Don't know how many times I've done that when I was stitching it down, catching it on there. Oh my goodness, come on, don't do this to me. Okay, always happens when you are in a bit of a hurry. Okay, this is lovely, this piece, beautiful little bag that I found in Paris in the flea markets, and it had all these gorgeous little flowers and stuff on it, which was rather lovely. Okay, let's have a look if it's being held down enough. Yeah, it's not too bad. It does make a difference. Okay. That's it. It's just the little things that need doing so things don't pucker. So I may do an invisible stitch in that on that doily, maybe, just to hold it down. Or it's going to be invisible stitch will be a heck of a lot faster than doing a all that seed stitch. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to post a photo of the whole thing completed on the Facebook page, the Roxy Journal of Stitchful Facebook page, but for now that little last piece is filled up and you wouldn't even know. Now look, it just meant to be. So there you go. I like it how it's all turned out. So there's that piece, and we've got down there, and then we've got up there. So I'll take a photo. I was actually initially going to put it there and it looked really nice on the lace. That's why I thought, oh, I might grab another doily. It really does look very blingy, very blingy. Okay guys, thank you very much for being with me during this journey, and I have thoroughly enjoyed getting out all my beautiful treasures and sentimental pieces and lovely things from my journey, from a friend. You know, this is the French fabric, this represents my cat, you know, that my face. This is when I went to England, and even just that, I love those because I tried stitching with this and it's really terrible, but it was nice to put on there. The colours just went beautifully. So yeah, love it, love it, love it. Okay guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.